I don't know what I'm more excited for: Monday night dead ball dancing or tournament time. I think tournament might take the cake on this one, but
Yeah,
best time of
I think
year.
so too. It's the best time of the year, right? Like I don't think there's a better tournament. I mean, World Baseball Classic's actually been pretty cool too. I'm not going to lie to you. That's been pretty entertaining. But I just don't think there's anything that beats March Madness. It's just the chaos, the heartbreak. It's just the best time of the year. How you doing, man?
Good, man. Yeah, I like the tournament so much that I don't even mind the play-in games.
Yeah,
It,
yeah. I mean,
it
the
used to
playing
just
games
feel
are
like extra basketball just for like the money grab, and it's actually been like meaningful basketball in recent years. And I'm here for the play-ins. We got some good play-ins too.
We sure do. We got some contention too. I mean, the whole Miami of Ohio thing. I'm personally happy they got in. I think they should have got in. Pretty historic season. But we're gonna get to see if they really deserve it, right? SMU's a pretty solid team. Should be a real good matchup. So excited
They're
for
going
the
to get
play
curb
game.
stomped by SMU.
I don't know about all that, man. I don't know about all that. Now,
They
hold
lost
on.
to UMass.
That you know what? It's a valid argument. I don't have anything to the contrary.
I,
So
I, I want them in. I want them to be in
agreed.
because I want the whole country to see them lose.
Okay. So you're just okay. So you're just okay. Okay. You know what? Every episode's gonna be like this now, though. There's gonna be
You know what we
some.
could do though. You know what we could do.
What are you
Just
thinking?
because like people at home don't know how hard this shit is, right? So I wanted to pull up our conference champion picks from the preseason.
Did I get Arkansas right? I thought I got
No,
Arkansas.
we both on Florida.
Oh crap, we were way off. Oh, you had Hawaii though. That was a good pick right there. That was a really good pick. Wait, no, am I top or
And
bottom?
Akron, baby. You're the top one.
Uh, yeah, you killed it, dude. Damn, I sucked.
I was really happy getting 11 correct. And then I'm looking at some of these and it's like, man, what were we thinking?
I have no idea. I like the McNeese. I like the High Point. I'm happy about St. John's. I thought that was a little bit of a dark horse pick there.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Um,
That was a good
yeah,
pick.
no, I mean, I'm surprised I didn't take Utah State, given how much I hate BYU. But that's a bit of a shocker to me. Colorado State looked good last year. Maybe that's what I was thinking. 6-25
Yeah.
bad ball. I mean, I'm like 13 and something in game of the weeks, but apparently I can't pick a conference tournament to save my life.
Well, and it's like, no, there's 31 of them, and 11 and 20 is not good either. But I was thinking about it, and I'm like, oh, we have this graphic. Let me pull up this graphic. It took me so long to mark all the misses because it's mostly misses.
Yeah, I mean 33%.
Uh,
You almost doubled me up, so that's impressive in of itself, right?
yeah, but if I bet every single one of these, I would have lost so much money.
True,
So
true,
I just wanted to throw that up because I thought that was some fun. But yeah, I
dude.
wanted to,
Absolutely.
Akron, and wire to wire, baby.
You nailed it. You nailed it. I got that one wrong. I got that one wrong. Some crazy changes. So I think just a good thing to highlight here too, Rick. And please correct me if I'm wrong, but obviously the tournament field is set. There's still 68 here, but you and I actually still did a little bit of a ranking ourselves. Like we took, I think the 68 that we're in. I might have forgot to update a couple of them, but like in my opinion, like we still have kind of a little bit of that micromanagement we can do and still have a little bit of fun with the top 25. So this is not like, I mean, if people compare the top 25 in the tournament net versus ours, you're going to see some differences for sure.
Yeah, they're
So,
totally
um,
different. And I
yeah,
actually, last year we ranked based on like the teams that are still in the field. And
right,
obviously, we're
right.
filming at a little bit of a different time this time on purpose. Right? There was a lot to talk about Saturday. We could have spent the whole episode talking about conference tournaments, but it
Yeah,
made more sense to get in before the tournament started. So we're here now. But I actually ranked out all of my teams still in my order. So I have teams inside my top 68 that are playing in the NIT.
yeah,
I wanted to keep myself honest in that, so
yeah.
that like the 15 to 25 portion of our rankings could still kind of reflect how we've been thinking all season.
Absolutely.
But man, you go a little bit further down, and our rankings get real wonky.
Gnarly, gnarly. And I mean, it's funny. Like I was actually pretty proud of some of the picks that I had. I missed on a few. Like I had Texas at next four out. I still don't think Texas should be in the tournament. They haven't done enough. But like SMU and Miami of Ohio, those were two of my last four in. like kind of nailed that there. So I'm pretty happy with the rankings so far. Obviously, quite a bit of movement here on the board, just given some of the play that we saw in the conference tournaments. Can't wait to get into it. But really quickly, just wanted to get the cat out of the bag here. Just wanted to let everyone know that we're back. We're back. We should have been a 1 seed, realistically. We kind of got hosed with the 2 seed. They gave us net 8, which is the last 2 seed. I just don't think that's very fair or right, especially after we dominated the supposed number 1 overall seed. But I'm going to be a problem today. I'll be respectful, of course, but I'm going to be a problem for sure.
I mean, you can be a problem because you've been a problem since you were supposed to wear that hat a year and a half ago.
Well, I'll tell you what. With the way Wisconsin looks now, if they win the national championship, then I'll wear it.
The Badgers aren't going to win the Natty. I do have the Badgers of the Sweet 16.
Yeah, very
right now.
Yeah, very feasible.
I hate my bracket. I have a couple call outs I'll make. I don't want to turn this into a straight bracket show, but I have a 5 seed in the Final Four.
Now, a 5 seed in the real tournament or a 5 seed for us?
A 5 seed in the real tournament, and I want to save it. I want to save it for a little bit later, but just a little preview there.
Yeah,
I have a 5 seed in my Final Four.
But let's jump into some of the conversation. Obviously, I'll get the cat out of the bag. But dude, could you imagine like if this was the Purdue team that we had all year? Like, I don't understand what it almost felt like we were Illinois, like with that mid-year lull or like second or third half of the year, third quarter of the year, whatever it is, lull. But it's like the fact that we were able to get back kind of on our horse a little bit and get back on like Purdue style basketball. Pretty excited about the 2 seed. Now, the draw is not great for us. I mean, we got to get through Gonzaga or BYU to the Sweet 16. That'll be tough, especially with a resurgent BYU. Pulling Arizona in your bracket, not exactly fun. Arkansas, Wisco, like there's some good teams in the bracket, but I'm telling you, man, like if we could just figure out a way to continue to play like this, like I think you and I both agree they probably deserve a 2 now. I mean, I think we're close on that. Oscar Clough, man. Oh my God. Like that dude can absolutely play. I don't think I've ever seen a man get so many offensive rebounds in like a 4-game span. Like the guy was just all over the place, the motor. I think he's really what makes us go. My thought is like, if we're able to kind of contain that energy, Smith starts hitting shots, Lawyer looked good. I can really see us kind of like an Elite 8 team, maybe Final Four. You would have to get through U of A. That's probably not happening. But this is the version of Purdue that I think we were all expecting to see. And it's kind of refreshing to see them get back, to that style of play. Fun tournament. Hell of a tournament.
It's as good as they should have been all year. I think for me, I went back and watched the Michigan game that they lost. And I watched the Bama game.
Yeah.
Just to kind of like remind myself what they were looking like. And I think what I keep coming back to is that they don't have any NBA players.
No, they don't.
So it's like a completely different game, right? But I'm speaking like from a talent standpoint, like they ran into teams that had guys that could just take over a game.
Yeah.
And as good as Braden Smith is, like he's not that, right? He's always like facilitator first.
Yep.
And there's nothing wrong with that, right? And Purdue plays the system really, really well. But I think that in the middle stretch against Michigan State, giving up 77 points against Nebraska, even in a win, I think that's what really stood out for me is like there isn't the guy. And when I'm looking at Arizona, Arkansas, BYU, Miami, even maybe, Purdue can't go head to head with a single guy, right? They have to play team basketball. They have to play the way they're built. And the Purdue that we saw down the stretch is doing exactly that. That Purdue team can beat anybody. But if they get suckered into a game where they're trying to put their best guy, whoever it is that night, up against an NBA player, I think that is where there's some risk. But the good news is that they seem to have found their stride and they're winning as a team, as their unit and doing it really, really well.
Yeah, agreed. I think maybe I'm probably putting too much stock in the Michigan game, probably a little bit. But I think that is, I mean, obviously it's their best win of the year, right? Like you and I both know that. Maybe Texas Tech is also one of their best wins of the year. But like, to your point, right? You're going against Landenberg, right? Isn't that his name? Landon Yaxel Landenberg or something like that. He's going to be a top 10.
But better than I would be able to do it.
Yeah, he's going to be a top 10 pick. And I think how uncomfortable we made him on the offensive side of the court, our defensive side of the court, gave me hope, right? Because it was more of like a gang team defensive strategy I think we rolled out. And to your point, we're going to have to play NBA players, right? Gonzaga won't have one, but if BYU gets by Gonzaga, we play the best player in the nation, right? And then that's going to be, okay, sure, you shut down Michigan's 2 NBA players, but now you're going against the NBA player. So to your point, I'm really excited to see how hopefully this version of Purdue can kind of take it through the tournament. Again, I don't see anybody but Arizona coming out of the West, like realistically. But it should be fun if that Elite Eight matchup is Arizona versus Purdue. That should be a decent game. That should be a really, really good one. So just happy the way they closed it out, man.
Yeah, they played really, really well.
Yeah.
The Big Ten in general, really, really good. Only 9 teams in because Miami of Ohio took Indiana's spot.
Yeah.
But a 1 seed, a 2 seed, 2 3s, a 4, a 5, and then a smattering of other seeds on the back half.
Yep.
Well done, Big Ten. My final rankings had what 1, 2, 3. I think I have 6 teams in my top 10 from the Big Ten.
Yeah. What about 1, 2, 3, 4?
So just a really convincing finish to the season.
Yeah.
Obviously, you don't want to see your number 1 overall seed contender drop the conference championship game.
Right.
But I think it really opened up the bracket. Utah and Purdue kind of get slammed into a West bracket that is nasty. But with that many teams in, to not have another Big Ten team there is really good if you're a conference fan, right? Like I can realistically see a path to the Final Four for 4 Big Ten teams. And like that would be crazy. It's not going to happen. But the fact that we've gotten into this position, I mean, Iowa has a decent draw. Obviously all the big dogs are who they are, right? We kind of know at this point, but
yeah,
I really like the way the bracket played out for the Big Ten. And great finish for them.
I mean, I'm looking at Illinois too. I've kind of obviously shat on Illinois a little bit myself here, but like they're going to get by Penn, and then they have winner of UNC VCU. They probably beat either of those teams. Then you're playing St. Mary's, Texas A&M, or Houston.
It's Houston.
Probably Houston. Illinois, Houston. I'm going to get into Houston in a little bit, but like I'm not convinced Illinois doesn't beat Houston. Like Illinois has got size. They got strength. They rebound the ever-loving hell out of the ball. So I'm excited to see how the Big Ten plays out because, I mean, 9 teams, you can conceivably make the argument, dude, Iowa could go on a run and be in the freaking Elite Eight, like by Florida. But like, you know what I mean? There's a chance for Big Ten teams to really, really show out this year.
I think those are going to be too small. Pull up a bracket. You can listen to us. I was going to custom build like quarters of the bracket. I'm like, I don't want to do that.
That'd be cool, dude. We should do that next year. We should make our own bracket.
I thought about it. I'm like, this is beautiful, right? But you have to like zoom in, like so close to make it visible. Like unless you're watching on a 55-inch TV, which I do not because I didn't brush my hair. But.
Yeah, I mean, I look like Jimmy Neutron, so I can't really say too much right now. I'm gonna actually you first.
I was gonna say stay in the South. Talk to me about Houston because I know that's one that we both have moved around a bit. Obviously, here in our top 5 now to end the season, but Houston's had some trials here.
They have. I have Houston at 7. Before I go on and speak, I still think they're a 2 seed. You got them at 5. I got them at 7. We both agree they're at 2. I do think though, Rick, and I'm curious what your thoughts are on this. I do really think that they are the most likely 2 seed to potentially get upset in an early round. There's too much offensive inconsistency. You obviously you graduate Monroe last year, who single-handedly held you guys together in the tournament, honestly, last year from a defensive and a rebounding perspective. Get him the ball in the post, easy post move, and one. I like that a lot. Kingston Flemings obviously is going to be a top 5 pick. The kid's unreal. He could single-handedly win you a game, but I'm not sure if that matters if there's a lack of support like we've seen in the past 9 games for Houston. Because Houston in the last 9 games has went 5-4. 3-game skid against Iowa State, Arizona, and Kansas. You're going to play a team like Iowa State, Arizona, or Kansas in this draw. Like Nebraska's not a pushover. Vandy's not a pushover. Texas A&M or St. Mary's isn't a pushover. So I'm just
and I was looking at that. So I have them losing to Illinois. I think it would have to be A&M earlier than that. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know that St. Mary's can handle what Houston is capable of doing on the offensive side of the ball.
Yeah.
A&M is bigger and faster than St. Mary's is. I could see it. I think Houston will probably be a 7.5, 8-point favorite in that game.
Yeah.
But it's the tournament, right? Like crazy shit happens in the tournament. I gun to my head, it'd be Texas A&M, not St. Mary's. But I think the concern that you have is totally valid. And I do have them losing to Illinois because I don't think that Houston right now is capable of swinging up like that.
No, I don't. I feel like the teams that end up either in the Elite Eight, the Final Four, even the championship game, they're always on that upward trajectory through the conference tournament, right? Like even if you lose. So it's like, I'm just curious to see how well they bounce back after a pretty bad showing to end the year. Like, for example, they were 5-4. U of A was 9-0, right? In their last night. So I'm just, plus the size. Like, obviously, you got big boys down low. You got 6'11", you got 6'10". Illinois has 7'3". Texas A&M might not have the same size, but they got beef, right? Their strength in the interior. I just think something about Houston's style of play might get exposed against a team like an A&M or in Illinois. I'm going to keep my eye on them just because they have not been humming through the last 9 games.
Well, and people need to know, if you're not big on basketball or if you haven't thought about it in this way, like the tournament's a whole different beast. And that's where I have Houston ranked ahead of Illinois. I have Illinois beating Houston in the bracket because I think Texas A&M is going to beat the hell out of Houston physically. And Illinois is going to be playing a much easier path. So neutral court, 1 game in a vacuum, I think Houston's better than Illinois. I don't think there's any way in hell playing the 3rd game in 6 days that Houston beats Illinois. I don't think
especially with the pace that A&M plays with, because they could slow it down, they could speed it up, they can throw it in the interior, right? I think you and I both agree A&M's probably beating St. Mary's. I think. I'm not sure. I'm just really interested to see how Houston turns out in this bracket because I definitely have some concerns, no doubt.
St. Mary's a 3.5-point favorite.
Interesting.
As it sits right now.
Okay.
About 50-50 right now on ESPN for bracket picks.
Let's see if Texas A&M where they are.
You look that up. I'm going to take us out to the Big East.
Yeah, do it.
Obviously, a quasi upset in the championship game. It was the matchup that we were hoping for, the matchup we were expecting, right? These are the 2 teams that were there all year. It was never going to be anything but UConn and St. John's. There were some other good teams in the Big East, but it was never really like that, No. So, St. John's takes 2 of 3 against UConn, and the kind of convincing fashion, I would say. Not as bad as the beatdown they got from UConn, but obviously a bigger stage.
Right.
The only difference is I think if St. John's had lost that game against UConn, it flips the seeds. It still would have been 1 and 2, still would have ended up in the same spot. So I don't think it matters in that way. I mean, we had pretty much written off this St. John's team.
Yeah.
And then they kind of went on a tear. Obviously took care of business in conference, which you have to do. Good wins. And then obviously winning the Big East championship. Nothing to stick at there. UConn is a good team, regardless of the result here.
Right.
I mean, we've had UConn in our top 10 for most of the year. St. John's takes the auto bid. St. John's comes in. UConn still gets the 2 seed. St. John's at a 5. I don't hate that because they were off the radar for a bit, right? Even in the AP poll, St. John's, I believe, slipped to unranked before they worked their way back up. And a 5 seed kind of makes you scrappy, right?
Yeah, and it's funny. I had taken my notes on St. John's prior to obviously the seeding comes out because I kind of wanted it to be a little more unbiased. And one of my questions was going to be, what are your thoughts as St. John's as a 2 seed? They just beat UConn 2 out of 3, and then beat them by 20 in the tournament final. And my thought was, right, UConn's real good. Like, I don't like UConn. I don't like Hurley, but I'm admitting that the team is obviously very incredible. Like, they very well could be Final Four bound. I'm just not sure I agree with St. John's at a 5. Now, to your point, they could come in with a chip on their shoulder. And also, to your point, they struggled in the middle of the year. They fell off the radar. But they have some very convincing wins against some really good teams. And I was looking at a lot of the models, Rick. And again, I have them at a 2. You have them at a 5. I think somewhere in the middle there would make most sense. Most models have St. John's at net 13 and UConn at net 10. That would be a 3 for UConn and a 4 for St. John's. So I was off with a 2, by the way. I was way off. So I wanted to get your thoughts, and I think you just told me, but like a 5 seems wrong for St. John's. It just doesn't feel right to me, you know?
Yeah, I don't hate it, and I would say it doesn't matter, but instead of UCLA, Michigan State, they get Kansas Duke. And St. John's does not match up well against Kansas. No one matches up well against Duke. But you just get a slightly harder draw. And if you make it all the way through, you know who might be waiting for you in the Sweet 16 is UConn. And I can't help but think that this bracket was designed to make that a possibility.
Yeah.
Like, sure, we don't think St. John's is better than UConn, but hey, if they get through Kansas and Duke, let's do it again. Right? 4th matchup of the year. Your data set for that has to be so small. That is going to be a stat jockey's wet dream right there. And it'll be a great Sweet 16 matchup. I think the East has the best potential for Sweet 16 games out of any quadrant. And it could be Duke, Michigan State. It could be UConn, Duke. It could be Kansas, Michigan State. It could be St. John's and UConn again. I think that's the most intriguing quarter of the bracket for me when we're talking Sweet 16 games. And so I know TCU is going to beat Duke and screw the whole thing up or something,
Which, dude, we've been on TCU all year. I'm happy to see they made it in, right? Like, TCU looks pretty decent, 9 seed. I think they got a pretty good chance to beat Ohio State, depending on what Thornton does. But yeah, I'm keeping my eye on St. John's for sure, Rick, because I was looking at, and again, I was watching some of the bracketology shows, and I saw 2 different analysts take St. John's to the Final Four. And I'm like, all right, St. John's is real good. They've obviously really proven that they can turn a season around. Pitino's got them humming, right? They're disciplined. They look great. They're making shots. Final Four is crazy. But, I'm wondering if –
got their ass beat last year.
That's what I'm saying, dude. In what, round of 32 or whatever it was, or Sweet 16. But I'm just curious, if they were a 2 seed, either in this bracket or another bracket, does that potentially change their trajectory? And now instead of needing to get through Duke, you have to get through Michigan State instead, who you might match up against better. I don't know. It's just interesting to think about that type of stuff.
And they shouldn't have any trouble with UNI, but that's a really, really good Northern Iowa team.
It is.
I think that's going to be fun. I'm not sure that St. John's has anything to worry about, but there you might like look up and UNI's up 10, and the St. John ends up winning by double digits. Like
I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised at all. Where you want to go next?
We already hit St. Mary's a little bit. Talk to me about the Zags.
Yeah, so curious where you had them before I start, actually. Because you have them at a 4 seed, I'm at a 5. Okay, interesting. So you and I were actually separated on Gonzaga by a single. Oh no, we both had them at a 4. So I had them at a 4. I think at a 3. I don't know if I can necessarily argue with it. I was looking at some of the models. Some models had them at 2. And that I just flat out disagree with. I still think 3 is generous. And what I'm trying to figure out here, Rick, is I'm trying to figure out what I'm missing about this Gonzaga team. I'm wondering if I'm holding against them the fact that they play in a weak conference, not non-conference. They played 5 AP ranked team this year. Creighton was 23. You saw how that ended. Bama, great win. Bama looks real good right now. Michigan, they lost by 40. Everyone's losing by 40 to Michigan. Kentucky was 18. You saw how that ended. And UCLA was a good win. So they went 4-1. But it's like the teams they played, in my opinion, like weren't even good enough to deserve a 3 seed, which is why I think I had them at 4. They pulled a tough draw.
I'm thinking about it. Michigan State, Illinois, Virginia, Gonzaga. One of these things is not like the others, right? And that's kind of how, like, I'm thinking about, okay, so then they're not a 3, right? And your 4s are Nebraska and Kansas and Bama. And that doesn't feel right either, right? So I had to get down to the 5 seeds, right? St. John's. Yeah, that fits. That's fine. Like, I can make a whole bunch of similar arguments about those teams.
Sure.
You know, Vandy had long stretches this season where it's like, well, what is happening? Like, this looked like the best team in the country. Now they're kind of down. Texas Tech. So, like, Gonzaga as a 5 for me kind of fits because we're looking at all these 5s and it's like, okay, well, they all have these flaws. They all have these issues. And they just didn't, like, Gonzaga didn't fit with the 3s or the 4s for me. Yeah. And I think a 5 seed feels better. But then you have to remember that's Gonzaga, right? And the committee probably forgot that they're Gonzaga.
Yeah, and I just, you and I are on the same page there, I think. And I'm trying to figure out what I missed. Like, is it the eye test is the reason they're a 3? Because it can't be the resume, right? Okay, they won a ton of games. They didn't lose a lot. 4-1 versus AP. A couple of those wins are still bad. I don't know what I'm missing about this team. A 3 feels overvalued. A 3 feels overvalued to me because I think they're going to run into Purdue in the Sweet 16. And I'm not convinced that the Purdue team that we just saw doesn't beat this Gonzaga team by 10 points. I'm not convinced. So you look at the draw they pulled too, right? They're going to get by Kennesaw State, right? I mean, that I don't think that you should. Imagine that. Everyone would be jumping up and down and celebrating. But then they're going to have to play a incredibly angry BYU, who have wins over far better teams than Gonzaga, in my opinion. Texas Tech, Iowa State, and Wisconsin. BYU beat all 3 of those teams. You get by BYU. You play a Purdue team who all of a sudden appears to be the borderline 1 seed that they should have been right earlier in the year. So I know I'm harping on Gonzaga. It just doesn't feel like they got that one right at all. So I'm curious to see what that does for him.
If Huff makes it back, it's a whole different team.
It's very true. Very true.
I don't think Huff, if he gets back, looks like himself. I have BYU winning that game.
I'm going to have BYU winning that game too. Yeah.
I don't see it, right? And Gonzaga's got the pedigree.
Sure.
But it's kind of the same thing we were talking about with Purdue, right? Gonzaga doesn't have that NBA player. And BYU has a couple guys who could just win that game.
Yeah.
So
right the third.
Yeah.
Right. Even right the third looks real good now too. Yeah.
Huff is a big piece. If he's back and he looks great, maybe. But then you're staring Purdue and Arizona in the face. And that's not going to happen. So I don't know that it matters in the grand scheme of things. Like we're not talking about like secret Gonzaga in the Final Four kind of thing, but I'm not sure they get through that BYU team even healthy.
Yeah, especially with the way they have looked. Even if they've lost games, BYU's starting to kind of turn it on a little bit. Robert Wright III looks real strong. Kate on the inside looks real good. I think that's his name, Quieta. I don't know, some big dude they got.
People don't watch for our pronunciation.
But I'm interested to see how Gonzaga rolls through that bracket, because you get through BYU. I don't see you getting out of the Sweet 16. That feels like it's going to be too difficult. So the West, I'm focusing on the West, right? Like that to me is obviously the fun part of the bracket, right? Zona, Villanova, Utah State, Wisconsin, BYU, Arc, Gonzaga, Purdue. Like there's a lot of good teams in the West.
It's a fun one.
Yeah, a lot of teams that I feel like I could make it deep, and I'm gonna stick with the West for a second. And Arkansas, man, wow! Like I'm not a Calipari guy. I had Arkansas at a 3 seed. I don't mind the 4 seed. Most models had them at a 4. You could damn well make the argument that they probably could have got a freaking 2 seed with the way they've been looking over the past month. Like they look real sharp. I don't think that there's a person on the planet right now that can stop Darius Acuff Jr. This kid is, I mean, you could put him in the conversation with DeBonsa, in my opinion. This is a kid who can win you a game by himself. And on top of that, he now has support with the way that his team is playing around him. Did you see him through that SEC tournament?
Arkansas was real sharp. Really, it sucks that Hawaii has to play this buzzsaw team.
It's kind of insane because Hawaii looked real good too. I think the key to this team and what I'm really keeping an eye on is Devin Brazil. If Brazil plays like he has in the past 2 months, Arkansas is a Final Four team. Obviously embellishing a little bit. You got to get by Purdue and or Arizona, Arizona first, right? That's going to be tough. This team looks and feels like they're playing like a 2 seed right now, and they have different ways to beat you, different guys that can beat you. And in my opinion, Brazil is the center of all of that. He went 28-7, 17-9, 12-11, 16-10, and then 16-9 in the past 5 games to close out the SEC season and the tournament. That is, and lo and behold, they won 5 straight and they won the SEC Conference Championship. So I just keep your eye on Arkansas. That's a real good sleeper pick for me, I think, coming out of the West bracket. But they look real impressive, Rick. I'm curious if you had any thoughts on Arkansas.
Yeah, I don't like the quarter of the draw Wisconsin has. Because it should be Arkansas, right? And it's like, oh, if somehow make it through a really good Arkansas team, it's Arizona right away. And it's that body blow thing. It's like, it's just death by 1,000 cuts. And like Arkansas is so good and so physical.
So good.
Yeah, the West is a cool bracket. Maybe one of the coolest ones we've seen in quite some time.
Absolutely. And I probably focused too much on the West. I don't even think I got to the friggin' East, South, or Midwest. I didn't even speak about the Midwest.
Oh yeah, a lot more to talk about. So we'll be okay. Let's do. How about ChainLink Padlock Picks? Huh? How about things?
That statement is like, love it. Take it to us, man. Let's go.
So the concept is these are games that you could just bet blindly on. These are your locks, your mortal locks, your stone cold lead pipe locks, depending on what podcasts you watch. So I took a bit of a different approach on this one. I had some individual games loaded, and the more research I did, I saw an opportunity to take a big swing, make a statement pick. Every single 5 seed wins this year. Lock all the 5s.
Wow.
St. John's over UNI. Give me Tech over MAC champion Akron. Give me Vandy over McNeese. And then And then give me Wisconsin over High Point. Man, because that's the one. I look at these 4 games and I'm like, oh boy, like McNeese could beat Vandy, sure. That's not the one I'm worried about. If I parlayed these, and man, it's that Wisconsin game. I just don't know.
Yeah.
But that's my pick. That's my lock in the 5s. No upsets. People's brackets will be wrecked because they're going to have a 12 win in 2 games. All 5s.
All 5s.
No,
so before we go to the upsets, I'll go through my locks then. I love the Wisconsin eyes. I was like trying to read your comment. I was like, eyes closed game of the week could either mean he's not even going to watch it because he's so confident, or he's scared. And now I know
so scared. He's so scared.
Well, High Point. Remember High Point last year? We were at 2, and they
yes,
we won
I remember.
12. Yeah, we won by 12. So that was Purdue with a 2 seed. So we'll see how that goes. I have some less locks than you do. I'm gonna kind of keep it even here. TTU over Akron, St. John's over UNI. I do think the SJU over UNI game is going to be a little tighter than people think, to your earlier point. I think Texas Tech blows the doors off of Akron. Texas Tech's too complete. Christian Anderson looks real good right now. Those are my 2 locks. Those are the only 2 locks that I have. Because I learned in the past that no, I can't do it, bro. I can't make guarantees.
Yeah, I had some fun ones. I'm like, no, I'm doing this 5 over 12 thing because I really like the concept.
Yeah.
All right. I only have one upset that I threw out, and then I'll let you rock out your upset.
Let's do it.
I got VCU beating North Carolina.
No Caleb Wilson.
And I don't think it's particularly close. North Carolina is only a 2.5 point favorite. Yeah. This VCU team had to work real hard to win the A-10 this year, and they still did it. Took the long road. They are so good. Terrence Hill is
unreal,
astounding. And then they got the laser Djokovic, who kind of came on late. Possession share went way up. But this is a really good VCU team. Yeah. They have more good losses than good wins. But they got it done when it counted. They lost to the Billikens, who were awesome all year. We'll talk about them in a little bit. Their best wins on paper are probably against Dayton. But we talked about VCU all year as a tournament style team. They are built for tournaments, run through the A-10 tournament, and now it's big tournament time. North Carolina has been good at times this year. North Carolina without Caleb Wilson, I don't think it's sustainable.
I don't think
without your best player, they've looked good down the stretch.
Yeah.
They played Duke a hell of a lot closer than I thought they were going to without their best player.
And they lost by 20, but
yeah, but it's kind of, that's the one I'm looking at, and that's the one I'm looking at, and that's what I was talking about earlier with Illinois' path. Whether it's North Carolina or VCU, it's an easier game than Houston's Texas A&M game, so that kind of builds into that bracket for me. But give me VCU over North Carolina.
I love that call, dude. And what's funny is VCU's strengths is North Carolina's weakness. They're 18th in first half points scored. And North Carolina, I believe, on first half defense is 198th. So VCU could theoretically come out of this game, punch them in the mouth, and then just not let up on the gas, because VCU isn't horrific in the second half. They're 98th in scoring, 131st in defense, like top third. So, I mean, it's a great call. And, I mean, when I do my bracket, I'm probably taking VCU over North Carolina, especially.
I gotta make sure I don't have every single 11 seed being the Sixes.
Love the pick. So I lied. I have one more lock. Give me McNeese over Vanderbilt. Now, you and I were on McNeese all year. They look real good. They pretty much dominated the SoCon. Or is it Southern Conference or Southland?
Yeah, SoCon.
SoCon. They they beat the brakes off of Clemson last year. And Vanderbilt has looked a little suspect on the stretch here. Granted, they made the SEC tournament final, torched Florida. Like, I'm not taking anything away from Vandy. You and I are very high on them. McNeese is very long. They're very sorry. I got distracted by that comment. Okay, can you block him? Because that's insane. McNeese is very long. They're very athletic. They're physical. And I think that style of play can bode well against a Vandy team who relies on speed to win games. Very curious. I think McNeese wins this game. I think it's close. I think it's a 4-point win.
I know you pretty well. Because I buried the lead. I buried the lead on that Final Four team earlier, hoping you'd grab this one. Because I have Vanderbilt losing in the championship game. Wow. This Vanderbilt team is for real.
Okay, first of all, before you continue, that's the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life. That's just rage bait, and it worked. But Vandy in the championship. Wow. And you know what? I think I'm pretty comfortable saying that they could also lose to McNeese.
I
don't know, dude. Like, if we get the Vandy that we saw against Florida and Arkansas, which, I mean, arguably you can make the freaking argument that Arkansas can make it to the championship game right now. I don't disagree with you. The path is rough. Like,
it's difficult.
I gotta be honest. Sweet 16, you get a rematch against a team you just drubbed by 20.
And then Illinois.
I think Illinois is coming out of the bottom of that bracket to the Elite Eight, so that should be an interesting matchup. I'm not sure Vandy has the side, but give me McNeese. Give me the McNeese State Cowboys over, unfortunately, Rick's national championship pick. I'll keep it rolling. Something to keep your eye on. I don't think it's an upset. I don't think it's going to happen. I did put HPU versus Wisco. Just something to keep your eye on. High Point's very good. They're very dynamic. They shoot the ever-loving crap out of the ball. Nolan Winter's back. I think that Nolan Winter coming back for Wisconsin makes Wisconsin an Elite Eight candidate team. But I'm curious, and why I want to keep my eye on this game. I'm curious to see if Winter coming back, if there's a re-gelling period, if that gives HPU a chance to get into a rhythm and start challenging the Badgers. So I'm really curious to see that. Okay, Al, you got to – Jesus.
There's no recent history to think that could happen, right?
Nice one. That was good. I like that. That was good. Yeah, that was real good. I don't want. Hey, you're not wrong. Who was it? St. Pete's or whatever it was. That shit was nuts.
Peacocks, baby.
Yeah, Jesus. Keep your eyes on it. USF versus Louisville. I think this is more about Louisville's inconsistency than it's about USF. USF's athletic, hungry, and they're consistent on the offensive side of the glass or the offensive side of the floor. They burned through the American. Granted, the American sucks ass, like you've been harping on all year. Very, very curious to see if USF can come out the gates here and catch Louisville sleeping like other teams have so far.
Last one opened 7.5 and got hammered. It's at 5.5 and it's going to go to 4.5 overnight, I think.
I mean, I'm curious. I'm sure you took Louisville, and that's probably the right pick. That's Louisville's game to lose.
I took Louisville, and I took South Florida plus 7.5.
I think South Florida is going to keep that game close, and just keep your eye on it. And then last one to keep your eye on, the Furman Paladins. The Furman Paladins, 2 versus 15 versus UConn. Furman does not need a lot of points to win games. UConn has looked shaky the past 2 months, and they don't average a ton of points per game. They play clean defense. They only commit they're 36 in the country in committed fouls, so UConn's not going to get to the line and be able to slow the game down. I would not be surprised if Furman kept this tight at half. Obviously, the spread is gigantic, but Furman Paladins was a team that I had on notice, I think, like midway through the year, and they've looked sharp to end the year. So just keep your close eyes on it. Like those 2-15 matchups are getting a little bit tighter, year over year. Don't be surprised if that's really close at halftime.
totals at 137.5. That's essentially like a 80 to 60 game.
Yeah.
I don't think it's that. I like the 20.5 there with Furman.
Yeah. I kind of figured it would be at least a 20-point spread, but I could see a world in which UConn's up like 3.5 for some reason. Like Furman can play some ball. So keep your eyes on those games.
We do have a game of the week for you this week, but is there anything else you want to hit on either in our top 25 or in the bracket before
quickly
we do
going
that?
back to the Texas A&M Houston potential matchup? I looked up a really cool stat. Texas A&M is 37th in pace and Houston is 36th. That's going to be a fun matchup for sure. So keep your eye on that one for the second round.
I wanted to call out Santa Clara.
Love that.
Kentucky, and then Iowa State. I think there's a chance they beat that Kentucky team. Hitting Iowa State after that is not great. But hey, Santa Clara, great job. Played a hell of a season. Obviously, getting 3 teams in from a conference that most people don't know where they are is pretty impressive. So,
did you take Santa Clara in that game? I'm thinking about it. Yeah,
I had them selected over Iowa State for a while, and then I went back to my bracket and didn't.
That's tough. That's tough.
I do have Iowa State losing to Tennessee in that game. So,
well, Tennessee's not going to do that, to be honest with you.
I think they could beat the Cavs. I think they could beat the Cavs.
Oh, I'm not worried about. Oh no, I'm not worried about them getting to the second round. I'm worried about them getting to the second round. I don't think they beat Miami of Ohio. So that's.
I don't think it's Miami of Ohio. They could beat SMU. SMU is going to destroy Miami of Ohio.
No shot. Miami of Ohio by 3.
They're a 6.5-point favorite right now.
Yeah, Miami of Ohio by 3.
Yeah, ain't no way.
I think so. Look, I'm.
That's why you play the games, right? That's why you play the games.
Absolutely.
Real quick, we have our play-in games, first 4, starting tomorrow.
Oh, is it tomorrow?
Tournament starts tomorrow. NC State and Texas. Howard, a really, really good Howard Bison's team against UMBC. A lot of casual fans will remember from their little run.
Over Virginia.
And then, and then the 18th is SMU, Miami of Ohio, and a fun Lehigh team that kind of took the Patriot by storm. Navy, by all accounts, should have won that. And, man, Lehigh looked hella good there. I guess a really good Prairie View A&M team. So
absolutely. Should we do a quick pick 'em?
Fun plans.
Should we do a quick pick 'em?
Sure.
Okay, let's start with UMBC Howard. Who you got?
Give me the Bison. Bison.
I'm with you. I'm on the Bison too. NC State, Texas. I got NC State.
I also have NC State.
Prairie View, Lehigh. Who you got?
This one's fun, man. I think it's Lehigh. I think it's Lehigh, and I think it's like a back and forth. Like, give me like 30 lead changes. Give me Lehigh.
I'm gonna go off the beaten track here. I'm gonna go Prairie View A&M. I think they're gonna take it, which is probably the wrong pick because Lehigh's more tested. We know this last one. Miami of Ohio, SMU. You're on SMU.
Yeah. Give me the battle ponies. Ponies all the way.
I am taking Miami of Ohio to beat SMU. So.
All right. Game of the week is one that we've worked really hard to not talk about yet. Billies and Georgia.
What a matchup.
These teams are essentially identical in every ranking system that exists. They play complementary style of ball to one another. They are far from similar on the court.
Yeah.
I'm excited for this one. This is sitting at 7.5. Totals at 162 right now.
Well, that's gonna be a high scoring game. It's so funny. I'm just looking at the rankings. I had them at literally next to each other as an 8 seed, 30-31. And then you had them literally next to each other as a 9 seed, 34-35.
I'm sorry. I'm blind without my glasses. Totals at 169.5.
You're good. Kick us off, man. Why don't you talk to me a little bit about the Billies before I jump into the Billies?
Yeah, I don't understand how this would not be a shootout, right?
Yeah.
these teams are so good.
Oh, yeah.
And again, very similar statistic profiles here. 10th nationally in points per game for the Billies. They're shooting 40% from three as a team.
Nuts.
That's good. For people that don't know, that's good.
That's freaking good.
Avila's a monster. That dude just kind of he facilitates all over the court, and it's cool to see because you usually don't get that from guys like him. But he looks like a point guard. He looks like a point guard when he's out there.
Oh, I know.
SLU's got to play a little tighter than they normally do because Georgia can keep pace with them.
Oh, yeah.
So that's what I'm looking at for St. Louis. Just forget defense. Just forget defense. Stay out of the way. Don't get stupid fouls because you will lose on the back half. But if it's just basket, they can stay in a game like that with an SEC team. And man, 40% from three is not a fluke. That is a full season of data.
By the way, that's number 2 in the country. By the way, they were 15-3 in conference and 19-0 at home. 10th in scoring, 10th in assists, 15th in 2-point percentage, 12th in field goals made, 10th in 3 points made. They're 20th in first half, 4th in second half scoring, 58th in assist to turnover ratio. You know what I'm interested about for this St. Louis team, though, dude, is they sneakily force uncomfortable shots. They're 8th in opponent 3-point percentage, 5th in opponent 2-point percentage, and 27th in opponent's field goals made per game.
Their spacing is so good. Their off-ball movement is like elite, man. I loved watching their games. Yeah, I rewatched. What was it? It was the Santa Clara game. I rewatched the Santa Clara game to study up for this one. And man, the thing that this team does off the ball is so impressive.
Nuts. It's how NBA teams should be playing, right? Should be. NBA is garbage. And what I'm interested in is they got some size and they got some length. They're 3rd in the country in defensive rebounds a game. They're 20th in overall rebounds per game. This St. Louis team is pretty good. You can't get sloppy. These are the keys. You can't get sloppy and turn the ball over for Georgia. This Georgia team flies up and down the court, and they don't care how tired they are. They will run themselves into the ground until they cannot breathe. If you turn the ball over versus Georgia, who's 30th in the country in forced turnovers per game, you're going to lose. St. Louis is averaging 13 turnovers a game. You got to be careful. You got to take care of the ball. Secure the defensive glass. Georgia's 27th in the country in offensive rebounds, Rick. They're averaging 11 a game. You're turning the ball over. You're allowing up offensive rebounds. That is a recipe for disaster. They have to clean those two things up first. Defend without fouling. Like I just said, Georgia's pace tricks teams into defending with their hands, not their feet, because they're tired. The defense is tired. They're incredibly efficient at drawing fouls. Georgia's 70th in the country in fouls drawn. They're making 19 free throws a game, which is 29th in the nation. St. Louis can't fall into that trap. If you need to, get fresh bodies in the game, stay in front of the defender or the offender. You got to be very careful. Now, my X factor here. We know Avila's going to get his. The guy's unbelievable, right? He could shoot. He could dish. He's strong on the inside. Trey Green needs to have a very efficient game. Otherwise, they will lose. He normally is. Shooting 45% from 3 and 87 from the line. This Trey Green guy can play. Problem is, you look at some of their losses. 0 for 5 and a 30-point loss for against George Mason. 0 for 5 and a 17-point loss versus Dayton. There's just these little micro trends that you notice when certain guys get over-involved. So my key for them is Trey Green, you got to have a really, really good, efficient game from the offensive side of the court. So take me to Georgia, man. What are your thoughts on Georgia?
Man, this team blocks a lot of shots. Holy hell. The Billikens are going to put up a ton. And that's the thing that jumped out to me is like, Georgia doesn't play defense either, really. No. But they block so many shots because they give up so many possessions. Yeah. And it's like, man, like the timing, right? Some of it's a volume game, but like the timing for blocking shots and the spacing, like that's a skill. And it's not like there's going to be a lack of shots in this game. So that's one of the things that really jumped out to me. But Wilkinson, is the best
Gross.
player in this game.
Yeah.
And he will dictate pace. So it's like you said, the Billies have to be very, very careful because the dude's a freight train coming downhill. And like Georgia's 8th in the country in scoring. Like they're amazing. They're incredible at scoring points. And that many opportunities, that many shot attempts will eventually wear down what, for all intents and purposes, is a less talented Billikens team. They don't recruit. They're not Georgia, right? So as that speed goes, if Georgia gets really moving downhill, the Billikens can match them at that pace. But if you start getting the guys in foul trouble, that's where it's going to really get sticky because the third guy off the bench for the Billikens couldn't sniff the roster at Georgia.
No.
So it gets thin too quick. So that's my thing for Georgia. All they shoot the lights up. Just shoot, block a few shots. But if they can force them kind of into a spot, I think that's the play. I think that's how Georgia gets it done.
Yeah, and I really like the kind of commentary you're setting around pace, right? Because Georgia's 12th in the country in pace. And my dad, yeah, let's go. Sorry. Georgia's 12th in the country in pace. St. Louis is 33rd. And for people that are learning about basketball, what pace means is how many possessions do you average in 40 minutes of play? Georgia's averaging 74. That is almost 2 possessions per minute. That is absurd. That is an absurd level of pace. Not only that, there's 0 fall off in this team. They're 4th in first half scoring. They're 5th in second half scoring. They are averaging more points in the second half than the first. So they have pace. They improve in the second half, which is insane, by the way, because how do you improve more in the second half? They're 15th in offensive rating. Billies are 14th. So now we're starting to set the stage of 2 very similar teams going against each other. What I do like, again, they don't play any defense. They're 302nd in scoring defense, 324th in opponents' field goals made. It's really ugly. They can't play any defense. They are aggressive in pressuring the ball and consistent in contesting without fouling, Rick. It's really impressive. 2nd in the nation in blocks per game, 24th in steals per game, all while being 70th in the nation in committed fouls per game. That's a really impressive 3-stat line there in terms of the defensive side of the basketball. Now, the keys for Georgia, and I think to your point, you got to run St. Louis off the 3-point line. It doesn't matter that St. Louis is 15th in the country in 2-point percentage. If you funnel them to the rim where you block a ton of shots, that is a better recipe for win than giving up solid looks from deep. You have to double Avila early in the possession. If you leave him on an island or even double him late in the possession, right? You send him with 15 seconds late in the shot clock. He's going to find open shooters without a doubt. He's 6'10", averaging 5 assists per game. It's why they shoot so many uncontested threes. Don't double late, double early, rotate your defense around, scramble and recover. You got to go into the half with a 5-point lead or more. You're worse at defending in the second half, which makes no sense because you're better at scoring. Maybe you just care less. So if you're down at half, even if you score 46 points in the second half, like Georgia is capable of doing, right, you're probably going to lose because St. Louis is also better in the second half, right? So those are my keys for them. And Wilkinson, right? Like you mentioned Wilkinson, who's obviously a phenomenal player, 17 a game. During their 3-game skid in early SEC play against Texas, Tennessee, and Texas A&M, 30%, 30%, and 29% from the field. St. Louis is gonna put some pressure on you. Get Blue Cane, which, by the way, Blue Cane is one of the coolest freaking names I've ever heard.
Yeah, it's first team name.
Get Blue Cane involved early. He's your second best player. He's very efficient. Take the pressure off Wilkinson so he doesn't feel like he needs to take contested fadeaway shots, right? Then allow Wilkinson to start getting downhill, getting opportunities at the free throw line. If he's shooting 50% at half, Georgia's going to win this game. So, man, what a great first-round matchup. Who you got? I think I'm torn. I think I was going with St. Louis, Rick. I think I'm leading Georgia now.
I saw everything I needed to see in a 98-88 victory over Alabama. Give me Georgia in this one.
Yeah. It just feels. They just feel a bit more complete and scary than St. Louis does. I don't know.
Yeah, and the Billikens are good. I don't want to take anything away from them as a team, but I think not being an SEC team, not having that kind of depth, I think is going to be what ultimately moves the needle late in the game. Yeah, if they come out and somehow are up big at the half, man, it's a boat race. I'd love to see it. I have no rooting interest here. I just want to see a good game. The winner gets the reward of playing Michigan. So it's like, kind of is what it is.
It doesn't really matter, does it? So, give me Georgia.
Give me a good game.
Give me a good game. Give me Georgia. I mean, I can conceivably see this being 100+ points each. This is one probably that you're going to want to watch. When is this game? Do you know?
Thursday night, 6:45 Arizona time. Just following the I just had it up. There's a good game right before this one. So if you're a one-screen kind of guy, you can just go straight through. And God, which game was it? No, I can't find it again. It's good basketball. This one's at 6:45 Thursday night.
Before Georgia, where are they? Are they Midwest? Yeah, they're Midwest. Okay. Yeah, whoever, it doesn't matter. They're playing Michigan, so who cares?
Yeah, it's gonna be good stuff. I think that's kind of all we had. All the games will be lit up on ChainLink. As we were last year, you'll see the game of the week a little bit different, but all the tournament games will be lit up. If you are a degenerate gambler or you like reality TV, the Rose League is back Sunday night.
Oh, dude.
Fantasy Bachelorette, Taylor, Frankie, Paul. If you like BYU, maybe you like Taylor, Frankie, Paul. I don't know how much crossover there is there. But the Rose League, Fantasy Bachelorette, live scored. So your degeneracy can last for 8 weeks after March Madness ends. You just have to watch The Bachelor. But it's out there. It's out there. We do a little bit of everything, baby.
Yes, sir. Look, I want everyone right now, with the exception of Rick and I, because we're special, to go into the comment section on our YouTube video and put your early prediction for who the national champion will be in this March Madness. I would love to see some of the comments. Yeah. Me?
Yeah, who you got?
You want to do it now? Shit.
Who's your champ? You can change it next week when your champ gets eliminated.
Against Long Island, to be clear. That's so everyone knows who my champ is now. Give me U of A. Give me U of A over Purdue in the Final Four. Nope, that doesn't make sense. Give me U of A over, I think it's going to end up being Iowa State. Give me U of A over Iowa State in the Final Four, Big 12 Final Four. On the left side, East-South, give me Illinois over Duke, Illinois versus Arizona in the championship. Arizona wins.
I've got Vandy over Michigan State, Michigan over Arizona, Michigan over Vanderbilt for the championship.
Yeah. So we're both picking someone from the right. Okay. Yeah. Yep.
So should be good. We'll do another show, TBD. So make sure you like, comment, subscribe, hit the notify button when the video is up so you don't miss a thing. We'll figure out something that makes sense. Maybe Monday if it fits your schedule, but we'll let you guys know. Watch the socials, watch the YouTube channel. It'll be up there. We want to make sure we're doing enough to cover as much game content as possible. So
you bet. That's it, man. Good episode, man.
Thanks.
God, best time of the year. So excited to be doing this. We'll see you again hopefully on Monday.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us, Dead Ball Dancing. We'll see you when we see you. Get those brackets in. Peace out, y'all.